Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for, this is for quarter 3 of 2022. And we are just going to jump right in here, Cancer, and see what is going on for you at this time. And that'll be that. So let's see here. You have the this deck. I dropped this deck. And like a lot of the cards are upside down. I don't read reversals. So I just haven't fixed it. And that's that. But you start off with this stranger card. It says curiosity on it. And I do feel that you are curious about something. I'm going to show you why I'm saying this as well. Because, again, not only do you have this card here, which says curiosity on it, you also have the Nine of Wands. And if you can see here, he's actually on the table when we put him down. He's looking towards the past, in the past direction here. You also have the Knight of Wands going towards the past, Page of Swords towards the past, Page of Cups going towards the past. It's like you're curious about something from your past here with this energy. It's almost like fate is, kind of bringing something back into your life here. The thing is you have the Eight of Cups, which would represent kind of like walking away from a situation. I have to say, I don't believe that this is a love situation that is coming back from your past. I do feel like love is here. Great. We'll talk about it. But I feel this is more talking about kind of an idea or maybe a vision that you had for yourself, because I'm just getting this as more of a vision. You can see how he's looking into the water, that pool of water there. So I feel this energy of you revisiting like a vision that maybe you had for your life from the past. You have the Nine of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Nine of Wands is a card of kind of perseverance, and it's also a card of not giving up on something. So I feel for some of you, and I feel for all of you, really, when we kind of like add all this up, I feel like it's saying don't give up on something that you have, like a vision for yourself. As long as it's personal, right? Then I feel it's something that you should try again. Even if we go this top row, it's kind of like you do have the Eight of Cups, which could be walking away from a situation. But what I will say is that the King of Swords at the end here, King of Swords sometimes represents like a knowledge gap. The other card that I personally use as a knowledge gap card is the Ace of Swords. This to me can say that maybe you had a vision to write a book, to start a business, to change your health, and maybe you don't believe that you can or whatever, right? And, I feel like this is saying there's just a knowledge gap. There's just something needs to be filled in here. Now, the King of Swords can represent like finding a mentor. It can represent learning from experts, things like that. This could be through books, YouTube videos, pretty much any type of expert you can possibly imagine, but you have to look for the information. So, I don't want to go on and on and on about this, although I do feel it is like a major part of the next 3 months for you, where you could be going on a journey. And you could be learning new things about something that maybe you thought wasn't possible. But again, I would say this is a vision that you've had for your life for a long time. It's from the past in the sense that you've just had it for a long time. The Knight of Wands, I believe, encourages you to go on the adventure. The other thing is, if you're wondering, like, how do I know what this is? The Knight of Wands is very enthusiastic. He feels good about something. He wants to do something. He feels very strong desires as well. So when you think about this, whatever this vision for yourself is, if you get excited, happy, joyful, whatever, then I would say that you should move in that direction. You should try something again here. You even have the Knight of Pentacles, which is kind of funny. Again, kind of contradictory, but it kind of makes sense as well. It's like he has the knowledge necessary to be successful. He represents being too cautious, playing it safe. He's the only knight that isn't moving in the tarot. And, excuse me, you can see that he has these oak leaves on his helmet. The oak leaves in the tarot represent having knowledge or wisdom. It's like he has the knowledge and wisdom to be successful, but he just needs to kind of like get moving. Next, you have this skywriting card. It says the Fates on it. And so I feel it is like a time where all these things that are coming back to you, it's very much faded. We're in between eclipses this quarter, towards the end of the quarter, or really the beginning of the next quarter, there will be more eclipses. But, it is interesting that we have a bunch of retrogrades. Pluto retrograde right now, Saturn retrograde. We'll have Mars going retrograde closer towards the end of the year. Of course, we'll have the typical Mercury retrograde as well. So it's interesting that a lot of this stuff is coming back, but it's also interesting that, basically every 2 years we have a bunch of retrogrades, right? Because every 2 years Mars goes retrograde, and this year happens to be a retrograde heavy year. So I feel it's kind of like fated this time that you are revisiting something that you've thought about in the past. You have the Eight of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, he is looking over at this Knight of Pentacles, and he is a card of curiosity. I'm kind of just getting more like childlike energy. Children aren't afraid to ask questions. Children, they kind of look into things, they study things, they try anything, they take risks, right? And I feel it would be a good time for you to do that with this Page of Swords. I feel like that's like part of this journey. So if you're revisiting a vision that you had for yourself in the past, for your life, are you really getting a second chance? I would say no. I don't really feel this is a second chance because I feel it's more a continuation of the journey that you're on to get to this vision that you have for yourself, right? And so is that really a second chance? Not really. I feel like you're just revisiting it in a lot of ways. But I feel like approaching it like the Page of Swords, being curious, kind of studying it, all that other stuff would be a good idea. The other thing is, you have the Page of Cups. I immediately feel on this Page of Cups that it's becoming possible. You can see that he has that fish right there in the cup. The fish kind of represents his imagination. It's his pet, actually. He's bringing it with him, but it could also represent his imagination. He's like imagining that fish exists, and he needs to like grab onto that fish. He needs to make it happen. So in a lot of ways, I feel this is asking you to kind of like grab onto something and, make it happen in your life. Like I said, are you really getting a second chance? I really don't feel it's a second chance, but I kind of feel this is like one of those moments where maybe, I don't want to make this sound dramatic, but like a portal is opening where the universe is like saying, okay, here's like another, gateway that you can pass through that will lead you towards your like ultimate vision for yourself. And I kind of feel the Page of Cups is saying grab onto it. I do also feel that you could be crossing paths with the person as far as love is concerned here. I'm getting like J or something. I don't know. Could be like a J name person that is coming in for you. It did pop into my head. So I do feel there could be a person coming in for you here that's coming in. I'm pretty sure I said this to you in one of your more recent readings as well. For whatever reason, like I see like a very kind of like eccentric person in my head when I zone out and like try to imagine what this person is, try to draw them in. So I feel it could almost be like a very eccentric person that's coming in for you. It's kind of weird as well because I see like peeling energy. I feel like you could almost be attracting a person who is going through their own transformation, but like what I would say to you is that I kind of feel it's like a person who this might sound insignificant, but they could literally be like, maybe they always dressed a certain way, they could be dressing a new way. It's like I feel like this is a person who's like on this process of discovering themselves. So that could be the type of person that you're attracting into your life. But I do get someone who they kind of like have their own way of living, but eccentric is the word that pops into my head. Let's put it that way. Next, you have the Eight of Cups here. For some of you with the Page of Cups, it's like, here's the thing with the Page of Cups, is that, again, if you have this vision for your life that you're curious about, it's like, I feel like you see it, and it's like sometimes I think we almost get a taste of something, right? Where we get a taste of the better of life, or we get a taste of, our business, our dream business, or our dream relationship. But it's like, once we taste it, then everything else just tastes terrible, right? And I kind of get that feeling for you here. And I almost feel the Eight of Cups is more you making the decision that you have to accomplish what you are setting out to accomplish, this vision for your life. Even with the Seven of Cups here, in the good tarot, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is kind of like being spoiled for choice, having a lot of options. I kind of read the Seven of Cups both ways. Sometimes I feel like it's positive. Sometimes I think it can, if we have too many choices, that actually leads to disappointment in life if we have too many options, because then we're always wondering, did I make the right decision, right? When we only have like a few choices, or like one, then we don't get disappointed because we're like, oh, this was my only option, right? So I kind of feel that here on the Seven of Cups, but I also feel that you're kind of like seeing all the things that come with this vision that you have for yourself. And I feel, but it's almost like you're making an agreement with yourself, because I feel like you're saying to yourself, you know, for me to have this beautiful life, or for me to live my perfect day, it's like, yeah, there are some responsibilities, you know, there's some good things and bad things with the Seven of Cups, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like you're looking at this vision for your life and you're saying, yeah, there's some things that I don't want to do that I'm gonna have to do, but it's like, how can I design my life? How can I make my day so that for the most part I'm doing what I want to do? And then, you know, of course there are always some little things that we have to deal with from time to time, but it's like, how can I fit those things into my life? I see you getting very organized about your life, which is interesting. It's a pretty deep reading, Cancer. I'm not going to lie. You have the King of Swords, the Justice card, and the Ace of Swords. Again, I feel like you're getting very organized here. I do feel this top row here, Nine of Wands to the Eight of Cups, the King of Swords. I do feel it's kind of talking about this like knowledge gap, or maybe a little bit of information that needs to be filled in here. Not a big deal. I think, you know, I feel like it's fine, is what I'm trying to say. But I also feel this is like partially the organization, where it's like you're saying to yourself, like, okay, I'd rather, you know, work on my business in the morning or whatever and do something else in the afternoon. It's like you're getting very specific about like even the times that you do things. This is a good thing. Again, it's like you're designing your life. Can't beat that. You have the Justice card. Justice reminds me of experimentation, just like the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's like experiment, see what works. What doesn't work, throw it out. What works, keep it, right? Justice, same thing. Justice is cause and effect. It says you put a little energy into one side of the scale. If the energy is returned to you, then you keep moving forward. If it's not, you stop. So I kind of feel this would be a good way for you to operate at this time. And finally, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely some victories coming in for you. Also more balance. I mean, to have the Justice card, actually all three of these cards are law and order, right? King of Swords literally is law and order. Justice, obviously. And the Ace of Swords, there are these 6 golden yachts on either side of the sword here, and they are in perfect balance. And so they kind of represent things balancing out in your life. If you're dealing with something legal, by the way, this is very, very positive. I also feel that there is communication coming in for you from a person you know, as far as love is concerned. So this quarter could be a really good quarter for you for love. The Nine of Wands, to me, whenever I get the Nine of Wands, it can represent inconsistent energy in a relationship. I would say make sure that this person's consistent, or make sure you're sticking to consistency. But I would also say that the Nine of Wands, to me, in a reading like this, would say that you're going to be meeting a person through, you know, having fun, doing things that you enjoy doing. And I definitely feel that intuitively, that if you're looking for love, I'd be like socializing, you know, if your friends invite you to a party or something, I would go, because I feel like that's where you could meet this person. But let's look at this. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely happiness coming in for you. All this imagery of the cups reminds me that, you know, in the tarot, the cups, yeah, they represent love, they represent your emotions, but they also, again, they can represent looking like into the cup, like the ancient art of scrying, looking into water and receiving messages, basically. And this first card, that is basically what he is doing on that card right there. So I really feel that you could be kind of seeing this future for yourself, like I was saying. I do also feel there could be love coming in for you, obviously. Really, this does look like a good love reading to me. With the Knight of Wands, here you go. You have the Two of Cups, soulmate coming in for you. Perfect match. Like I said, I definitely feel communication. Two of Cups is specifically a card of communication. Right here, in between these two people, is the Staff of Hermes, which is Mercury, which represents communication. So I do feel like there's someone who's coming in who's going to be communicating with you. Funny that I said this, that, you know, the two people on the Two of Cups, they are, excuse me, they are meant to look very different. And this one kind of looks very eccentric, like I was saying earlier. So I do feel there's, I was talking about that with the Page of Cups. I was getting some sort of difference with this person. There's some sort of change this person is going through. You could even be having dreams about this person, I feel, even if you haven't met them yet, by the way. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Hangman. It's kind of interesting. I feel like you're done with this energy. You could be dealing with a person who already, like in the past. You could have been dealing with a person who's inconsistent, who isn't making any moves. I do get the feeling of like just cutting someone out. So a small percentage of you could be cutting a person out. For others, again, I feel like you've been kind of like in hangman mode, and this is what's providing you with these answers. Remember what we were saying. This is basically a knowledge gap between you and your vision for your life. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords. You're stuck. You know, again, I definitely feel the stuck energy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I said, it was a gap. I always like to remind people that you're watching tarot so that you can avoid these gaps, so that you can understand what to do. Your answer is very simple. Your answer is to go seek the knowledge. You know, that's what the reading is encouraging you to do. I always get comments from people that are like, you said this would happen, nothing would happen. I'm like, no, you have to do something to overcome this. And it's like, that's the whole point of watching tarot. Tarot isn't meant to say, oh, you're screwed. Tarot is meant to say, hey, maybe you feel screwed right now, but this is what you do. So I would be looking for the knowledge. Definitely stuck. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I said, I feel that we talked about this earlier in the reading, that there's a gap here that you're having to cross. Eight of Swords says you're much more free than you realize, though. With the Page of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion. It's also like a card of what are you waiting for. To me, the Three of Wands always reminds me of the adventure. If you look, you know, there is a way to read the Three of Wands. If you look, he's like kind of looking out of that water, and that water, it almost looks like the desert. It looks like golden water, but the story is that he's kind of looking out at what he thinks is the desert, and then he sees the ships that are on the water there. You can see those 3 ships in the water. And so it kind of is a card that says you might be looking at something and thinking there's no opportunity here, but there actually could be a lot of opportunity. There could be 3 ships that exist. So I would say I feel that you're starting, but I kind of get this feeling that I don't think that's where you are in your journey. I feel like you are at the place where you have seen the 3 ships. You were looking at something that you felt had no opportunity, and now you finally see the opportunity. With the Page of Swords, you have the Ace of Swords again. Love it. Definitely a victory coming in for you here with the Ace of Swords twice. Some sort of win. Love it. With the King of Swords, you have the Four of Swords, a recovery. I do feel a lot of you could be kind of going through a recovery period here. I'm also getting blessings. It's kind of interesting. I'm surprised that the Hierophant hasn't shown up here. You know, really, there's a person in that stained glass window who is receiving blessings from another person. But I kind of was getting blessings earlier in the reading. Maybe I feel like some of you are hoping and praying for blessings. I kind of feel like this is asking you to not sell yourself too short. Like I think I said that earlier in the reading. Sometimes I feel like we bump up against an Eight of Swords, we bump up against an obstacle, and we think like, oh, the only way I'll be able to solve this problem is if I, win the lottery or if something like this happens. And it's basically like selling yourself short, because if you say that, you're saying, the only way that money can come to me, for example, is through winning the lottery. It can only happen by luck. It can not happen any other way. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with winning the lottery, but what I am saying is I feel like it's saying, like, if you're having those thoughts, like the only way anyone will ever love me is if, X, Y, and Z happens, I would be careful of those thoughts, because I feel like it's saying, like, don't sell yourself short. You are not, for you to be successful, it doesn't have to only happen through luck. I feel like you have a lot more inside of you is what I'm trying to spit out here. And I feel like this is more an empowering message. I hope that makes sense here, Cancer, where it's like it's encouraging you to empower yourself and realize that you're capable of creating these things all on your own. It doesn't have to happen by luck, right? Kind of like in a weird way, very empowering message. With the Justice card, you have the Knight of Swords charging forward towards success. So I feel like you are kind of charging forward. I do feel with these Knights that things are going to be happening very, very quickly for you during the next 3 months. Feels like things are going to be speeding up, which is pretty much the opposite of what will be happening for most people. Mars going retrograde, things usually slow down. And, basically we enter into the shadow in August, goes retrograde in August. So, it's kind of interesting that things are speeding up for you. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Judgment card. No, for some reason I thought you had it twice. You don't. I feel like you're waking up to new opportunities, and also, like I said, communication from a person if you're looking for love. But really, the Judgment card, sorry, is your vision for your life. It is you waking up to your true purpose, answering your inner calling. So super powerful reading here, Cancer. I love this reading. Really, I feel like it's really good, very empowering. Like I said as well. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your next 3 months.